What is happening, guys? Welcome back to another case review. We are going to be doing a PC build in this very shortly, but first of all, I wanted to give this case a bit of a review. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Today we have a bit of a tongue twister. 5 points to any of you who can say it within 3 seconds. Let me know if you could do it down in the comments. The Cooler Master Master Case Maker 5. Cooler Master Case Maker 5. 5 points to anyone who got that correct. Now, I've had the opportunity to have a look around this case, and my gosh, I love these features. There is so much jam-packed in this case. It is everything that I could ask for. Now, there are a couple of flaws here and there, but overall, that is just personal preference. As you can see here, nice big clear window so you can see inside and look at your build in amazement. Now, of course, this can fit your full ATX size motherboards. Now, let's take this front panel off and we'll have a look inside. By the way, guys, the reason I am kneeling down like this is hashtag caravan life. Obviously, not much room inside here, but hopefully you guys can put up with my ugly face right in the middle of the camera. So unscrewing this panel, the screws actually sit in place, so there's no losing them or misplacing them. Undoing the panel, you can see it simply slides out and you can actually have it sit just like that. Has these little clips down the bottom, just keeping it in place. So this is really good. It stops the case window from falling. Inside we have plenty of room. As you can see, I could pretty much fit my big head inside, so lots of room there, guaranteed. What do we have here? We've got a little magnetic LED bar. Now, this LED bar is actually controlled by a LED and fan hub at the back. So I'll show you guys later on what that is. But the unfortunate thing about this is the LED bar is not RGB. It's just one color, red. So looking inside the case, we can see that there are some hard drive cages, and you'll notice that there's thumb screws there. That means that these are all interchangeable. That is the great thing about this case. You can move these up or down. You can take them out. Plenty of room for more hard drives in the bottom if you don't need this. And you want to make room for, say, some liquid cooling or other accessories. Now, that's the great thing about this case. I don't know if you guys can see on the inside here, but we do have some SSD mounting brackets if you want to show your SSDs off if they look good and they're part of your build. Full ATX size motherboard, as I'd said before, plenty of room for cable management with the grommets here. And one really neat feature that I love about this case is you've got your GPU coming along the top here. You can move these out of the way so it makes room for your GPU, but the cable coming from the GPU can route down into the cable grommet holes which are in this platform here. That's a really great feature. Nice cable management. That means that there's no awkward kinks or bends with the GPU cable as you're trying to bring them back here. You can just bring them straight down and into the hole. Your two 5 1/4 inch bays are also removable. There is more thumb screws in there. Simply unscrew them if you just want a nice clean build. Plenty of air ventilation at the back with some nice honeycomb mesh. We've got a 140mm fan at the back exhausting, and it also comes with two 140mm fans at the front intaking air, so it's creating positive pressure throughout the case. Down the bottom of the case we can see that the power supply fits in nicely. Now it actually has these brackets here which keep it sitting off of the ground. It allows for better air ventilation and airflow. It also stops sagging of the power supply. A really neat feature by Cooler Master. On these rails is also a bit of padding which would also stop any vibration and help to reduce some noise. Up to the top of the case you can see that we do have some built-in handles. A lot of people didn't like these, but personally I do like these. It gives it an easy way to move your case around. Now the top of the case does have a removable panel, which is a really neat feature. It allows for air to breathe out if you want to put some exhaust fans up the top, and they've also included a built-in radiator support mount. So you remove the top, which reveals the radiator support. A really neat feature. It can fit up to a 240 or 280mm rad, depending on the thickness, guys. You just got to be wary about the thickness of the radiator. All right, moving around to the front of the case, you can see we've got a nice sleek design. It is a matte finish, so hopefully not much fingerprints are going to be getting on it. The front I/O is a piano finish. It has one USB Type-C and some more regular USB ports. It also comes with power and reset, and it also has some fan and lighting option buttons on the front. We also have our standard jack and microphone ports. The front panel is just stuck on by magnetic grip. This simply slides forward and just sits there. Now this allows access to your 5.25-inch bays. So if you have, say, a disk drive in there, you can access that and insert your disk without actually having to take the front panel off. This also acts as a cover, so you don't have to look at those 5.25-inch bays, which may look kind of ugly in a build. One other great feature about this front cover is that it has a nice foam on the inside. Now this is all sound dampening, guys, so it's there to try and reduce the amount of noise that your system creates. Now, of course, leaving this on, there is plenty of ventilation for air. Obviously, air can get in through the bottom or through the top where there's a nice big gap for air to flow through. Moving into the back of the case, we do have a fan hub built in. Comes pre-installed with the build, takes 6 fans, and it also has LED control, 4 LEDs to be exact. Brilliant amount of room for cable management. Simply place everything down there. This can take your standard ATX size power supplies. You can either put all the cables down underneath, or they've actually got this built-in cable raceway. Now this comes with some Velcro straps to keep the cables in place. And of course you got the standard zip tie holes, which you can use as well. A really nice big cutout for the motherboard. This makes it easy for you to install, say, your water cooling blocks. You have a lot of access to the backside of the motherboard. Really neat feature that I like about this case. So now I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the radiator specs, which can actually fit into this case, or fan specs, if you will. So starting with the top, obviously I've mentioned this before, we can have a 240 to 280 millimeter radiator, depending on the thickness. Now you have to take into account the fan thickness as well, which is normally 25 mil, I believe. So you just got to take that into account when you're coming down off of the radiator mount up the top. Now the good thing about this radiator mount is it has a lip outside of the case, so it's taking away from some of the thickness, so you should be able to fit a decent thickness radiator in there. At the front of the case, it's the same deal there, either a 240 or 280 millimeter radiator, depending again on the thickness, because you don't want to interfere with any of your longer graphics cards, which is why some of these hard drive cages may have to be removed depending on the card that you have. And at the back, you can fit either a 120 or 140 millimeter radiator. Obviously, again, depending on the thickness, because you don't want to hit any components as you come out from the base of the wall. Both the top and the side both have a fan mesh, which is very good. Very, very, very happy about that, because most of the cases I do review forget that the top needs a mesh as well. It's going to be sitting there, not turned on, and then collecting dust. So a really great feature about that. And also they've included a dust filter as well for the power supply. Now, one thing that I really have to give Cooler Master props for as well is they've thought about the front IO cables. They've actually put 2 holes in the top of this panel here to route the cables through and into the motherboard. Creates a nice clean look instead of routing those cables along the top and just running in full view for everyone to see. I don't get why some companies do that. It really looks terrible in a build. But then again, it's probably just me and my OCD being triggered. I mean, I love a clean build. You guys know that. So that is sort of a major feature to me. One last thing before we go is I want to show you guys the front panel and what they've actually done to try and hide and conceal the front of the power supply and where the cables are routing. They've actually added a nice black piece of Perspex. I don't know if you guys can see that, but down the bottom section of it, there's a black piece of Perspex, which actually hides all of the cables. This is a really smart idea. It's not built into the case. It comes off with the window. So I thought that was actually a really smart idea that they've added that. Personally, I'm going to modify this case. I'll probably remove that anyway and put some nice signage or something into the build. Just something a bit different. I want to modify the case. I've got about 1 week to modify it, so we'll see what we can do there. I want to add a nice liquid cooled system, remove all the hard drive cages and the bay, and just create something really unique. A nice clean water cooling loop, a lot of acrylic work and signage. I want to make it a blue, white and black themed build, and I've got some Gigabyte gear going into it and Intel, so it's going to be one kick-ass build, guys, and I can't wait to show you guys. Probably going to be one of the next videos that I do upload, because I've got to get it done pretty fast. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this quick overview of this case. Let me know what you think of this case. Personally, I love the design and all of the features that are included with this tongue twister of a case. What is it? The Cooler Master Master Case Maker 5. Brilliant features all around, stands nice and high off of the ground so you can face your power supply down if you did want to run this on carpet. Now, I still don't suggest running on carpet, it's not good for the system, but it does stand pretty high, so I'm not going to rule carpet out if any of you guys do need to put it on the carpet. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this case, and we'll see you all in the next video, and hopefully in the next video I can find somewhere to stand up, because my legs are killing, man.